turn it over to you.
All right, well, thanks for coming out again, and just wanted to wrap up the Idaho win. After watching the film, I thought our football team did a lot of good things. Certainly our defense did an outstanding job of shutting down the run. I thought our red zone defense was excellent. Did a great job on sudden change defense before the half. Offensively, I thought our quarterback was very accurate. We had some receivers step up and make some big-time plays for us. And our special teams were greatly improved from the Florida game. Certainly, like every game, there's a lot of things that we need to work on. The offense at times self-destructed with so many procedures and holdings and just things that we did to ourselves. Defensively, our pass defense has to get better. Certainly a lot of credit goes to Idaho. Blackman was a very good player and very accurate, but it was disappointing we didn't get our hands on more balls, and he completed so many balls for such a high percentage. And I think our special team standard needs to be higher. I think from Florida we lost the special teams. I think Idaho, we were solid. We certainly didn't win the special teams battle, and with the amount of depth that we have on defense at the second and third level, we need to win the special teams. So we certainly had a lot of things to work on this week in practice to improve, and they'll need to improve to compete against a very, very good Toledo football team. Right now Toledo's playing excellent football, certainly taking Arizona to overtime. Even more impressive considering what Arizona did to Oklahoma State last week. They beat a very good Wyoming team on the road. They're explosive on offense. They start 7 seniors on defense that have played a lot of football for them. They're very talented on both sides of the football. They've got an excellent return game in the special teams. And it's a huge game. It's our rival. It's the MAC opener, and so there's certainly a lot at stake. And we've had a good week of practice, and we're certainly excited to get up there and kick it off. So any questions you have?
Coach, how pivotal is this game being in week 3 instead of later in the season?
I think this game, no matter when you play, it's pivotal. You could play this game in July, 2 months before the season, it would be pivotal. Our players know the importance of this game. They learn about it in the recruiting process. They certainly learn about it the second they get here, and it's a big game. And the fact that it's the MAC opener and what our goals are makes it even more critical.
Do you like having this game this week as opposed to pick another time during the season?
You know what? It's some rival games are played early. Iowa State, they play that game early every year, and to me, I like the rival game at the end of the year. But with the MAC setup, that the last game is the day after Thanksgiving, it's not a rivalry game unless you can really involve the students. I mean, that is key to rivals. And our student turnout this past week was great. It was awesome, and that was the opener against Idaho. And I think it would be a shame to play this game at a time that the students at both institutions couldn't be a part of it. So if we have to play it earlier to get the students involved and get a great crowd, then I'm all for it.
Coach, what do you think about opening the MAC schedule with Toledo?
Again, I think no matter when you played this game, it would have juice. No matter when we played our MAC opener, it would be an important game. So, in the football world, you just you live week to week. And so it just so happened that this was, we have no control over the schedule with this. So whenever this game would be, we'd be excited about it. It would be a big deal. It would be a MAC game no matter what. So, you don't analyze it that much because you really don't have any control over it.
So, but if we made you king for a day?
King for a day.
King for a day.
King for a day, I'd probably play this game third Saturday in October. It would be late in the year, that there'd be other implications to it. The big picture, the league would be starting to form. But it wouldn't be played on a weeknight in November because of the MAC schedule, and it wouldn't be played at Thanksgiving. So, again, if I was king for a day, it'd be great if it was like the last Saturday in October. But again, our guys will be excited to play whenever. So I don't think internally there wouldn't be more excitement about the game if we played it then. Our guys are really excited and jacked up to play this game whenever.
Aside from geographical, the geographics of the rivalry, how has this rivalry stood the test of time? Why is this still such a heated rivalry, in your opinion?
I think it's the geographics of it. You have 2 schools that are in the same conference that are 20, 25 minutes apart. You know, we fight over everything. We fight over we're in the same media market. We recruit the same areas. You know, there's very little that we do as a program that doesn't have a crossover with them competitively, from, you know, recruiting to whatever. So, you know, I think, you know, the test of time is withstood because of the geographics of it, though. I was involved, you know, twice before with rivalries, you know, and I think when you're in conference and it's local, I think that's certainly a strong basis for it.
Do you teach a dislike of Toledo? Because when I talk to some of their guys, they use the word hate. We hate Bowling Green. Do you teach to hate Toledo?
Well, we certainly educate them on the rivalry and what it means to our program. And we're fortunate to have a rivalry like this. A lot of places, they don't have a big game like this that they have to look forward to every year. I think this is the biggest rivalry in the conference. It's one of the biggest rivalries in the country. We're fortunate to be part of it, and it has great importance to our football team and our football program and our institution.
Coach, what are your concerns, if any, I guess with the coaching changes from last year and possibly how that could affect this Saturday?
You know, I've been involved with that stuff before. I mean, you know, I think it can work for you, it can work against you. So, you know, we're going to defend and attack what they do, and I'm sure they're doing the same to us. And, you know, I'm sure they've made adjustments and we've made adjustments. So that's all the game within the game. I mean, there's a lot of familiarity with each other just because they've basically had the same offensive staff for 4 years, and we've had the same defensive staff. You know, the change-up is they have a new defensive staff. And so there's really only 2 games on film of what they've done, and that's a little bit more of where the guessing game is.
So to piggyback off that question, in your opinion, how are the Rockets different last year versus this year under their new head coach?
You know, I think on offense, I think they're a little bit more wide open. I think they're letting their quarterback make more plays and make more shots down the field in the passing game. I think they've become a more explosive offense, stretching the field vertically more than they did a year ago. And defensively, I think they're very sound. They get lined up correctly. They play good technique. They're very well coached on defense. They hardly ever miss a line. So I think they're doing a great job up there.
Coach, you had one of your assistants leave for this season. Does that affect what you do X's and O's scheme-wise? And also, second question, how does it affect the rivalry?
Well, I mean, you know, those two had played college football together and they were best friends. And I mean, I said it jokingly in the staff meeting the second that Coach Campbell was hired. I said, there's a good chance that Stan's going to be up there in a couple of weeks, and he was. So I think we almost anticipated those two had a long-standing friendship. Matt was the reason that Stan was here. So I think I almost anticipated it and expected that it would happen, so it wasn't a shock. And he went from an assistant position here to a coordinator's position there. So it was a good move for him professionally. You know, and we're professional about it. I mean, he's now on their staff, and there's certain things that he knows about our program, and there's certain things that we know about the way he coaches. So I think there's, you know, I don't think it's a huge advantage either way.
What about the fact that apparently Toledo's decided to play Owens because he played the entire game at Wyoming? Mm-hmm. Is that, you know, you talk about game planning. Are you game planning for him totally, or are you still looking at Danton a little bit?
I think you got to look at both. I mean, Danton started the Arizona game. Danton's a very good player too. You know, I think they're going to play the hot hand, and certainly when Owens got in at the Arizona game, their offense picked up, and they allowed that to carry over to the Wyoming game, and he was hot from the start in that game. He played very well. He was very accurate. He threw the ball down the field nicely. He made plays with his feet. But Danton's a good player too. I mean, I look back to the 2009 season when Danton played here as a true freshman, and he really, I thought, played with a lot of courage and played really well, and almost brought them back that game. And he's made plays too. And he's a good athlete and throws the ball well. So, you know, whether both players play or not, you know, that's something that their coaching staff makes a decision on. We have to prepare for both because they're certainly capable of playing both, and both of those quarterbacks are capable of moving their offense. They're both good players.
You guys have had a lot of success against Toledo on special teams the last couple of years. Is there any key to that success, or, I mean, what's...
Well, when you say success, I think it's been a few pivotal plays. I mean, I think, you know, in '09 we blocked a couple of punts, and in '10 we had a punt return, and, you know, last year we faked the one punt, but...
You also had a kickoff return for
Yeah,
team.
but those are kind of individual plays that happened. I think if you take those out, it's kind of been back and forth. I mean, they certainly have a lot of very talented athletes on their special teams. And, you know, just like Page was a very dangerous returner, Reedy's a very dangerous returner for them. You know, they have a very good kicking game. Their kicker has kicked the ball to the end zone on every snap. They've had very few returnable kicks. Their punter can change field position. They've got a field goal kicker that can hit long field goals like he did at Arizona. So they're very solid on special teams. You know, I mean, we're going to have to play well on special teams to win that battle because they do a nice job up there.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.